Brittany Alvarado here with Dan Lawletta. We are at Yersack Field. Sky Blue FC defeated the Portland Thorns 1-0. Sam Kerr making her Sky Blue FC debut, getting a huge goal for this team. Looks like Sam is really giving this team momentum.
She does. Sky Blue was pretty familiar with her for what she did against Sky Blue as a member of the Flash. In her first game, she gets a goal, and a nice goal too. She was making a little run, and then just kind of at the last minute exploded against Alyssa Kleiner, who I'm not sure was supposed to be the defender that was taking her on, and Maya Hayes in her first game at left back with the cross and getting the assist. So a much needed win for Sky Blue, and you don't want to say that the other wins that they didn't get earlier in the season wouldn't have been important, but to have north of 3,000 people in the stands with the World Cup bump here, pretty exciting time for the team.
And the lights are going out. Portland struggled a lot offensively. They are still without most of their international players. Portland is probably one of the teams that is really looking forward to getting them back.
Paul Riley was pleased with how they played, but pretty much admitted that without 9 players that are from the World Cup, and McCall Zerboni also not here because of the suspension, it's just difficult. He said we just don't have a lot of punch, and all of the players he was bringing in off his bench, where he calls them reserve players, officially they're amateur players. So it's tough to get along that way. He was hoping for Io to score some goals. She's only got 1, and I think it's 7 games for the club. So that's a difficult situation for Portland to be in. And on the other side, it was Nadim, who didn't have a great game, and Kerr had the goal, almost scored the second one very late, and had some other dangerous opportunities throughout the game. So the Thorns will very much look forward to getting their players back. Not sure about Alex Morgan, how quickly she'll be back, but Sinclair will be back, Nadine Unger will be available, and they've got Tobin Heath and lots of other players as well. Steph Catley's been hurt, but she'll be back. Claire Polkinghorn, who they just got from Australia. It might almost be too many players coming back, but it'll certainly be better in terms of what they're able to do offensively.
Now, although Portland did lack their offensive punch, all credit to Brittany Cameron for coming up with huge saves. Finally, Sky Blue finished out a game for Cameron.
Yeah, and Cameron, with a little help, with about 90 seconds to go, I guess, in stoppage time, and those floating balls can sometimes be the most difficult ones to time. That one was going in. She leaped up and put it over the bar. She had another great save earlier in the game. There was the one free kick where she actually uncharacteristically stayed on her line, and I think it was Farrelly emerged from the pack and got a head on it, but Cameron still made the save on it. So a real good game for Brittany Cameron. She's not always the most consistent player, but in a match like this, she's usually good for 1 or 2 big saves, and that's what she gave tonight.
Now, the biggest question is, can Sky Blue make the playoffs? They are still in last place with 10 points, but hopefully this momentum keeps them pushing forward.
Well, there's 7 out now behind the playoff spot, and Jim Gabarra said, look, there's a path. There's still a path to the playoffs. He said he won't tell the players that they need to win game X or game Y. Next weekend, they're at Western New York, and you figure, yeah, they've probably got to win that game because the Flash are one of the teams right now that are in between them and the playoffs. So they're going to need to win more of their games, but he says he's just going to keep telling the players there's a path, there's a path. Kerr obviously makes them better. Caitlin Ford makes them better. So maybe finally getting a break, they'll come to the point where they start to win more games, and the even games maybe go their way instead of the other way, which has happened a lot this season.
Well, the lights are out. That's it for Dan and I. Your final score here today, Sky Blue 1, Portland Thorns 0.